please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing the story started by Queerly B last week. Well, the week before I guess actually, when I got to it was last week though. In a video titled Stardew Valley Inclusivity Rage. Said differently, but I'm feeling a little bit meh, so I'm not going to use the voice as much. That video did really well. Am I blocked yet? Oh look, I am. Victory is mine! I'm supposed to celebrate this, right? Listen to me carefully, Queerly B, this is a public service announcement for you. I don't take offence to being blocked in the slightest. I just want you to know I think you're a snowflake. Especially because my points of criticism were levied at you over something that is truly inconsequential in the context of a 16-bit game. Truly inconsequential. For the calm, casual gaming that Stardew Valley offers, this is really a nothing burger, but go ahead and block fingers and ears all those naysayers, those haters. It's quite alright. I'm sure my salt at being blocked will feed at least one peasant for a microsecond. We're going to continue this story not with Queerly B though, but with Fallout Since. Over the past couple of weeks, the Stardew Valley queer community had been calling on Eric Concerned Ape Baron, I don't know if it's Barone, sorry, to add pronouns to the character creator, allowing non-binary people to feel better represented in-game. However, others have responded by harassing LGBTQ+ players and content creators. I like that these articles always sensationalize one aspect but always forget one very important word, because they're operating under the assumption that those because LGBTQ+ are always right, and the word is criticize. It is quite the important word, and I do think for the sake of intellectual honesty, it should be in there with harassing, but with a comma between the two words. Preferably criticizing by some, comma, harassing by some, comma, and then any other like parodying perhaps. Fair use has that there somewhere. It's quite important to acknowledge. Twitch chats have been spammed with that word I can't say, ABUSE. YouTubers such as Keemstar Show, ex-producer Chris the Narc, have tweeted about the calls for pronouns being an insane take, while others are misgendering people in the community directly in their replies. So Chris the Nazi Narc has been very vocal in his opinions on this matter, because it is inconsequential. It really is. I made it quite clear because the game is inspired by 16-bit Super Nintendo era. It's hardly something that really matters in a game like Stardew. Do you really believe you're playing yourself to get lost in a different kind of world? One where you are you in that world, which seems a bit strange. Bit of a coping mechanism, I guess, as well, that you would go so far as to go into a 16-bit world to avoid the 4K quality, or is it 8K now? Whatever K quality it is now that is so ugly to look at, i.e. most of the ideologues that keep espousing their nonsensical beliefs whether you are left, centre or right. I don't care. Chris the Nazi Narc is absolutely correct on this. My mod, the owner who plays Stardew, took the liberty last week of recording some gameplay in the character customization. It's on the screen now. This is quite important, this character customization aspect, because it shows just how far you can go with your ability to create your own character. The only part that you guys are obsessing over are the two symbols for man and woman. This seems highly problematic, especially because if you don't have non-binary, then you're not really inclusive. You need trans as well, of course. And then when you do that, you open Pandora's box and everything has to be created to the point I would not be at all surprised if the then fans, those that play this game that are LGBTQ+, decided to start lobbying for a simple bit of art page where you draw your respective symbol on it for your representation that you so desperately need, again, in 16-bit quality. Some trans streamers such as Queerly B have locked their social media accounts down after being targeted due to the growing vitriol. This is an intellectually dishonest take again. The vitriol they received, the anger they received, was deserved because they said that if Eric was unwilling to make these changes, then it's okay to accuse them of being transphobic in the public space.
I do think it's reasonable to pose the question as to whether or not transphobia is involved in his choice to be silent.
Using these buzzwords sets up thought-terminating cliche, which then sets up cancellation. Based on the standards they set for cancel culture, something which they fully support if they're willing to just use that word to pigeonhole somebody because they can't be asked to boycott the game. And the only reason they won't boycott the game is because they know their voices do not matter enough, and because they can't be asked to go and play something different or better. There are even allegations that some streamers are being doxxed. So many are now warning others away from playing the game until the hate blows over. Allegation is a quaint way of saying we haven't got the proof to show you, but someone has said it, so it might be true, which sums up these 3 paragraphs aptly. I also like you had to name drop Keemstar just to say who Chris the Nazi narc was. In the last video I made my opinion quite clear about you, the player of Stardew, wanting to be represented, but not getting the representation you want. Instead of seeking to control every aspect of the game and its development, by bullying the creator of that game, why don't you go outside, touch grass and play Tetris? You'll find there's no representation in that, so there's less chance of you being offended. But you'll find there's more chance of you not being able to complete it. Which does mean in turn I can dredge out the old adage, get good, scrub.
I'm an American badass! Watch me kick! You can roll with rock or you can suck my dick!
Those 3 paragraphs came from toilet roll paper outlet The Gamer. Chris the Narc took the opportunity to actually show what was going on, providing all ample context and showing that many of those within this area are insane for willingly wanting to go and flag anyone that has criticised or critiqued what QueerlyB has said. That would include Irrational Chad and Ruined Leon. On April the 26th, ConcernedApe on Twitter posted an update. Stardew Valley 1.6.6. Fixing bugs, translation changes, console mobile ports, usual standard stuff. I scrolled through it, nothing there referencing anything to do with gender. Some did complain about it not being on the Switch or PS5 or whatever, doesn't matter. Some replies of interest though. It's really concerning. There has been no comment or statement about gender-neutral pronouns for months now. There's literally a 7-month-old petition with over 8,000 signatures. Are you really just going to keep ignoring people who are asking? Replies to Melanie. Because it's a non-issue. Melanie replied by falsely equating the lack of representation to that of unalive and doxing threats, because apparently Melanie is not the smartest. Underneath that though there is a reply. 1.6 does have technical changes to support non-binary gender, which makes non-binary mods much easier. The difficulty for official support is the vast amount of retranslation that would be needed, especially in gendered languages. How dare you explain this on a level where it should make sense? The Stoned Lich. Will you speak about adding gender-neutral pronouns for future development? Reply. Maybe at some point, but given the sensitivity of the subject at hand and his current workload, it may be a while, please be patient. The Stoned Lich replies, we've been asking for a year, we've been patiently waiting for a statement, that's all and nothing. Reply from Kirk, I understand that, but given it's a very delicate subject and one that sparked a lot of disagreement and contention, he may not yet have a statement to give. You were polite with your request, but sadly not everyone is. I'm just reminding people to have patience. Some people don't care about patience, they care that instantly they are catered to, and once they're catered to, they expect more. Amanda, any update on pronouns within Stardew Haunted Chocolatier? This petition is nearing 9,000 signatures. I should point out it's now over 9,000 signatures. Reply, in my opinion as someone that's part of that community, we shouldn't badger anyone and everyone in game development to do this. It's getting overdone and out of hand. For once, let's have a game be as it's made. Just make a chat character to represent you. Don't attack me for this, it's just my view on it. Reply, quoting just make a character to represent you. Some people aren't able to fully do that without gender neutral pronoun options. That there sounds like a you problem. Busby, really weird how you won't take 5 minutes to write a simple tweet denouncing the and all those things, who simply ask for representation in one of their favourite games. This isn't the fault of ConcernedApe, nor is it ConcernedApe's problem that people are putting their perspectives out there and are essentially trying to take some form of control of his intellectual property by dictating what he can and cannot do with his intellectual property. People are looking at this and saying, no, it's a false equivalence and you're doing guilt by association. I can't think of many versions of a reality where that's remotely okay. This is pointed out in the replies by Prinny, and Eyeless Bunny pointing out he possibly isn't looking at his, social media, focusing on his job to post updates and then logging off. Kieran, you should speak up on the issue regarding doxing trans folks over your game. People have been asking you to do something since the game release, but it's way more serious now. We can wait for the patches. Kirk resurfaces. He might in the future, as it stands he's currently working on the latest update and will likely not check Twitter that often. This is a sensitive subject that should be addressed accordingly, so please be patient and kind. Additionally, no one cares, everyone is tired of the lunacy, and stop making demands, either play the game or don't. Simple really, isn't it? My view on this will remain the same. You can ask for these changes as much as you like, and I'm sure at some point ConcernedApe will implement something to help. But as has been pointed out by others, some of whom are modders and developers, this is not as easy as simply making a change. Oh, but make a statement. What kind of statement can he make, ConcernedApe that is, that would placate you, truly placate you, or reassure you? Do you think condemning those that are being doxxed or allegedly doxxed is going to change anything? No. So what's the point? Also, he has had nothing to do with that. That is on people opening their mouths and saying things they shouldn't be saying, like, I'm going to tell everyone that ConcernedApe is transphobic. Do you think he's going to want to defend people who say that? Or come out and bat for them, because it makes him then look like he's cucked by them, which in this context is correct. I am still mildly baffled, amused, interested, intrigued by the fact that while you are seeking to try to control ConcernedApe, you are still playing the game that you want to accuse him of being transphobic over for not including your identity in a game that is casual by nature. There is an odd hill to die on, and this is not it. You've made it into a bigger issue, and in turn you then cried victim when people started to clap back. You managed to get some loo-roll tabloid on your side, and some on Twitter, not many. But as has been pointed out politely by a large number of people in tweet replies to these idiots, this is not as simple as you think it is. But apparently you don't understand how to play the simplest of games of politics. If you did, you wouldn't be seeking to push these buttons on a regular basis, and you wouldn't be trying so desperately to get what you want, as if what you want in the first place, if implemented, would change anything in the game at all, beyond a bit of dialogue between 16-bit characters. I'm almost certain there's a comment in here about how sad one's life has to be, that is what you are complaining about. Oh look, I made it anyway. Well done me.